Hello, this is written by Murphy, and I'm doing a book review of John Woman by Walter Mosley. I love Walter Mosley. This guy is amazing. He is a. Now, it came into my feed because in the library they were pushing Black History Month. He's a black author. Awesome. I've read a ton of his books before. He's known for doing noir detective books, but also all kinds of things. He's really prolific. And this is, I think, his latest. It was just published in fall of 2018. And I love it. I love it. Okay, he does like mystery, noir, and he also writes erotica. It is fun to have a male erotica writer. He writes sexy things. This book is definitely a sexy book, so be aware. Now, okay. Okay, now we're talking. Walter Mosley's amazing, super intelligent guy, incredibly talented. Love his books. He's still writing. I would read everything he wrote. I even wrote his straight up erotica book, which surprised me a little bit. I'm like, oh, because I was reading it on vacation, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to be having these feelings around lots of other people. Anyway, this one was somewhat erotic, but here's the story. John Woman. So this man, the story starts when he is a boy, a teenager. And he is, he's a highly intelligent man. And he lives in the shadow of his searingly intelligent black father and his sensual white mother. They had this coming together, which is set up now. And he adores his mother. He absolutely worships his father, and he's not really supported by either one, except that his father teaches him to think, and his mother teaches him to feel, and that's kind of enough. That's a lot. However, he has to find his own way to feed and clothe and support himself. In the early part of the book, he ends up killing someone, and that haunts him throughout the rest of the story. Now, his father dies when he is like 17, and his mom has disappeared prior to his father's death. His mom knows his dad is dying, but there you go. She's sensual. She does what she feels. And he, having this ability to think, goes forward and becomes a history professor. He gets a doctorate, which is kind of sort of skipped over his time in university. I would think it would be really squelching because I don't have the highest opinion of universities. And in the story itself, Walter Mosley does take a slam on universities, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So he's looking at it differently. He's deconstructing history. He's talking about the people. He's talking about the people that making it a like only these important people can make history. He's like, no, history is all the things. And he takes it apart. I have some quotes I want to pull out that really kill me. I pulled out some quotes at the end, and I put. He's talking about history, and he's taking on what I believe is the academic. What would it even be? It's kind of like an iron curtain. They have this totalitarian grasp on what history means and how things should be understood, which I think is false. And also, when I got to this line, I've been feeling very unhappy with what's happening in the current culture. It's very judgmental and unforgiving. people have done wrong things and they are, well, you can call it cancel culture. They are shut down. I don't think that is mercy and love. And mercy and love are how I want to guide my life. Don't always do it successfully, but I want to. I'm guiding my life through kindness and mercy and forgiveness and continuing the conversation. That's what I say at the end of these videos, right? So and I'm like, he's poking at it. He's kind of going at it and saying, don't be hypocritical. So he says, this is a quote, lies and misdirections might indeed make a better tomorrow, except that the truth cannot be denied. And the truth is, we are a deeply flawed species. Yes, we are flawed, and what are we going to do with ourselves? This character in the book, who says these beautiful words, is a murderer. In a very Oedipus Rex kind of way. It's like, could he have possibly not murdered? I mean, Oedipus Rex kind of was in this situation where he ended up murdering his father. And it was a horrible thing that ended up guiding the rest of his life. So, John Woman, who is the name this character adopts as a doctor, which is a fantastic name. Woman, a name that he changed his last name to, Dr. Woman. Wow. So he's changing it. And he's taking on and saying, we are a flawed species. Yes, we are. We are all flawed. And we're in this together. And simply judging and cutting off people for making a mistake, even a lot of mistakes, is going to hurt us. It's going to hurt us. I got to plug this in. So, he also goes on to say, I grabbed this quote, the only way to comprehend our history is through empathy. Empathy is another way of saying love and mercy, right? Feel what it's like to be the person who experienced the history, who created the history. But the one that killed me, he says, knowledge has been colonized by the university. Yes. The main influence on John Woman is his father, who is a complete autodidact. Autodidact right here. I believe in the power of thinking for yourself, analyzing the words and the ideas with your own mind, taking your experience and holding it up to this other story, this other person's experience, or this interpretation of experience, and making up your own mind. The character that Walter Mosley created strongly pushes for that. Both the father and John Woman, he says, what do you think? And what is really happening? And what do we know? There's a lot that we don't know. It's a gorgeous book. Oh my gosh, it's a gorgeous book. I really, really like it. It touched me. And when he says, knowledge has been colonized by the university, I say, throw off that. This is my knowledge. This is what I know. And it's part of what I'm doing here with my book reviews. I'm saying, this is what I experienced when I read this book. What did you get from it? What do you know after reading it? And frankly, you don't even have to read it. What do you know after you heard me talk about it? That's what I'm here for. Learn it yourself. Take your empathy with your reaction and your experience to it. Empathize with yourself and empathize with the creator and the surrounding story. You are empowered to do that. Throw off the colonization of knowledge. It belongs to you. It belongs to you to discover it and teach yourself. And it's free. It's free. It's yours. Don't let somebody cut you off from it by saying, well, I know better. No. How could they possibly know better? You know what you know. Gorgeous, gorgeous book. I liked it so much. So, my friends, what do you think? What do you think about what I'm saying? Have you read the book? I'd love to hear what you think. Let's keep the conversation going.